Slingshot. I was just minding my own business, watching someone stream Stardew Valley, as one does, and I saw someone use a slingshot in the skull cavern, and I thought, wow, that's pretty strange. Let me give it a try. And let me tell you something. I am now hooked on the slingshot. The slingshot does actually have a use in this game, but it's not how you think. The slingshot is actually horrible at defeating enemies. Instead, we will use explosive ammo and use it to mine rocks and ores. You will unlock explosive ammo when you reach level 8 in your combat skill, and you can purchase it at the Adventurers Guild for 300 gold per bullet. Just a quick tip, if you ever want to buy large quantities of items quickly, you can hold the right click to purchase many constantly, and if you hold shift and click left click, you can purchase 5 at a time. But you can also purchase items much faster. All you need to do is hold right click, hold shift and spam left click as fast as you can. You can seriously buy a ton of stuff really quickly by doing this. Just be careful to not just spend all of your money by accident. Now, I'm going to be honest. Purchasing explosive ammo is not very feasible, as you will be paying 300 gold per bullet. Instead, it is much more cost effective to craft them yourself. It will only cost you 1 iron bar and 2 coal to craft, and as an extra bonus, it will craft 5 bullets at a time. So you should definitely rather craft these if you can. I think even if you buy ore and craft it, it will still be cheaper than buying the bullets outright. Alrighty, now that you have your explosive ammo, let's head over to the Skull Cavern to give it a test. I usually use a desert totem to get to the Skull Cavern as early as possible, and then I eat a lucky lunch and drink some ginger ale just before entering. This will give you a pretty solid luck boost that is much appreciated. Don't forget to bring other food as well if your health gets low, and it will. Alrighty, so now we have the slingshot, we have the explosive ammo, and we have some luck. Now what? Well, the primary use of the slingshot is actually to mine the rocks. The slingshot can effectively replace your pickaxe altogether if you want. The benefits of using the slingshot, as you will see in this video, are that they destroy ores and rocks in an AoE. This can result in you finding ladders and shafts much quicker, thereby allowing you to get deeper into the mines. There is also the added benefit of it being an AoE ability that sometimes you can find a ladder and a shaft with one fire. If you were hitting all of the rocks one by one with the axe, you usually use the first thing you find. If you use a ladder first, you would have missed the shaft. The slingshot is also more effective than bombs, because with bombs, you first need to place them in a good spot and then run the opposite way as to not take any damage. Using the slingshot, you can just run through a floor and shoot all of the rocks as you go, meaning you don't have to backtrack to avoid damage, therefore resulting in rocks and ores being mined faster with a slingshot. If you are in range of one of your explosive ammo's explosions, you will only take 1 damage, and sometimes if you're very unlucky, you might take 2 damage. These small numbers are so low that our vampire rings are more than enough to make up for the little bit of damage we might take. Explosive ammo will mine any rock in 1 hit. That means you don't need to sit there with your pickaxe hitting iridium 3 times just to mine it. Just a single explosive ammo and that iridium ore is all yours. From what you might have seen in the gameplay, even though I'm here trying to convince you that the slingshot is good and you should use it, it is actually pretty hard to use and it will take some practice. And this is because the slingshot fires these bullets in a straight line and it flies over rocks and it does not destroy what you want it to. The easiest way to make the explosive ammo destroy rocks and ore is to fire your ammo and make it hit either a wall or an enemy. If it hits a wall, it will explode on the wall and destroy some rocks in the radius of the explosive ammo. This was a little bit difficult to get used to in the beginning because it feels unnatural to be aiming at the wall, but with some practice, you will very quickly get used to it and master it. This doesn't mean that some ore in the middle of the floor is possibly unmineable when using explosive ammo and the wall strategy. That is where enemies come into play. The explosive ore will hit enemies and destroy all the rocks around the enemy, so you can lure the enemies into the path of the ore you want to mine, and then you just aim your slingshot at them. This will also take some practice, but after only a few runs, I think I was getting a lot better at it. It is important to note that explosive damage from the slingshot is not very effective against enemies. It does basically no damage, and your galaxy sword is much more consistent in taking enemies out. However, since this is explosive damage, you can use the slingshot to defeat mummies. You can use the slingshot to defeat mummies after you have taken them out with your sword. I can confirm that I never defeated so many mummies before in a single skull cavern run, because I usually save my bombs for large clumps of rocks and ore. But since explosive ammo is so cheap to craft, you can just farm all the mummies you want. What do you think of the slingshot? Have you ever tried it? And if so, have you found any success? I'm starting to think that using this method in the very early game might be an effective way of getting a lot of iridium ore when you don't have an iridium pickaxe or galaxy sword yet. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was so much fun to make. I never expected to actually use the slingshot and be effective with it. So my eyes are now open to the way of the slingshot. If you like this video, consider hitting that subscribe button for more Stardew Valley videos. But for now, until next time.